Yo, Jizzy Joe Biden is here to watch Donald take on the last two members of the Elite Four, Flint and Cynthia, so like and subscribe, guys. I want to see a clean victory here, Donnie, with no funny business.
I clapped this ginger afro bozo last time, Jizzy Joe, when he asked me to revive Volkner's fighting spirit, and the same will happen again. I mean, look at him. He walks around in flip-flops like some sort of slob, whilst even Aaron puts more effort into his clothes than Flint does.
The flip-flop style does seem pretty lazy, to be honest. But he makes up for it by being the third strongest member of the Elite Four in Sinnoh. So let's see how his strats are going to change since the last time we battled him. Obviously, the level of his team will be higher, but I suspect he'll have new items too.
Okay, so that Rotom used Volt Switch. So we have to deal with this nonsense all over again like we had to with Aaron using U-turn all the time. It's like this is the Elite Four strat. Spam switching out moves for no reason whatsoever except to waste everyone's time.
Donald, I said I wanted a clean victory with no funny business. But you go and lose Tyranitar in one move thanks to his Infernape's close combat. Why did you do that?
He did his job by setting up the Stealth Rock, which was his main purpose. And I knew Flint would have close combat on his monkey anyway, so it was an expected knockout. Plus, Salamence has Hurricane, which is like the strongest flying type move there is, so the monkey's reign ends here.
In that case, you just wasted a turn using Toxic on Infernape when you could have used Hurricane on the last turn and already be on to his next Pokemon.
God, the other Joe may be annoying, but you're just a little nitpicker in this episode, aren't you, Jizzy Joe? I am still gonna win this battle, so I don't need you being a backseat gamer just because you think you look cool in your white suit and gold chains, which are probably from Temu anyway.
I think the whole of Jizzy Joe Biden is from Temu or AliExpress, to be honest. Either way, he had a point on that last Hurricane play, Donald, so I think you're not as locked in as you think you are.
He's actually playing smart, using Toxic first. These Elite Four members love to use healing moves and held items which heal their team up. So by leading off with Toxic first, it'll eventually negate all the effects of those items, which means we will win regardless of whatever stunt they try pull on us.
Okay, fair enough. It applied to Arcanine here, who has a leftovers, but that Infernape was all out for the attack and didn't have anything on it. This thing, however, has also popped the Sunny Day, which means Swampert's water-type moves will be less powerful, Donald.
My plan is to actually have Salamence here take out all of Flint's Pokemon, since I have barely used it in battle, to be honest. It needs more training anyway, since it'll probably be used against Cynthia's Garchomp later on.
By the looks of it, each time we battle a new member, their Pokemon seems to go up by one level. But who knows what we can expect from Cynthia? I suspect her Pokemon to be in the level 80s, which would be nice. Something cool I think they should make for fun is a rare candy which lowers a Pokemon's level.
Since you're talking about items, Barry, the community question I want to ask our viewers this time is what battle item they think is best for a Pokemon to hold. So that could be a leftovers or an assault vest. We want to see what you all think, so go leave your comments below and like the video whilst you're down there too.
I think the best item a Pokemon can hold is a Life Orb, because it just makes all the moves more powerful, and that's all that matters in a battle. The fastest one to get one shot is the key to victory.
Damn, that Houndoom got me down to 11 points of health left, which was super close. And normally I'd agree with that strategy of yours using a Life Orb. But as I've grown up, I feel the cost of losing health isn't worth it in most situations, so I'd only ever equip a Life Orb to a Pokemon which already has crazy high defense stats.
See, the difference between me and you, Donald, is I was the real G, and never used healing items whilst you have over 100 full restores in your bag, which you pop constantly. If I used more healing items, I sure as hell would have done way better in my playthrough of Storm Silver.
I think that's your fault though, Obama. None of us said you couldn't use them, but you decided yourself to act like a tough guy and then failed miserably, which Donald isn't doing here. He only lost one Pokemon in this battle, and Flint has like one Pokemon left himself.
Yeah, so I'll give our Dragon Boy a break and send out Swampert now, who should be able to handle the rest of his fire types with Surf alone. Magmortar is probably the only real threat here, though.
I thought your plan was to beat Flint with Salamence alone. Guess you got bored of the poor guy. Although that eruption is really powerful and did quite a lot of damage to Swampert.
Eruption only has 5 power points, so he's probably used all of them up now anyway, unless he used PP maxes on his Pokemon, which wouldn't surprise me. Typhlosion is probably my favorite fire-type starter, though. Also, what do you all think about the announcement of Pokemon Legends ZA?
I watched the Pokemon Presents, which has already been out by about 3 or 4 days, depending on when this video is uploaded, and the one thing I'm not happy about is the graphics. Other than that, I think it will be great fun.
The free moving around in battles looks awesome too. I can't wait to play that game on the channel when it comes out later this year. My main question is why pick Zygarde as the main Pokemon though? I still think they need to expand on Kyurem's story and the original dragon. A Legends game would have been perfect for that.
Agreed. Kyurem should have been the main legendary of the game. Either way, it does look like great fun, and Lumio City is a wonderful place to be too. I'm very positive about this game already, more than I was for Scarlet and Violet. In other news, Flint got clapped like I said he would. He almost did a number on Swampert, but thankfully Surf ended it for him.
He almost took out 2 Pokemon at the end there, but now it's time to battle the final member being Lucian. I don't know much about him except he dresses very dapper and is a psychic type user, which means he's going to be strong.
His area is also purple and his ace Pokemon is apparently a Gallade, a physical attacking psychic type Pokemon which can be hell for us if it uses Swords Dance, which this one probably will use.
He also always finishes reading a book whenever we come to battle him. I mean, he was spending his free time in the library in Canalov City earlier, the little nerd. Beat his ass Donald because we don't like nerds around here.
I'd rather be a nerd than a dumbass Obama, so you've just given away which one you are. Donald will still crush him, although we have no bug-type moves. Tyranitar might be useful, though, since it's dark-type.
He's leading off with a Claydol, which I wasn't expecting. Bear in mind, we're going into this battle blind, since Lucian never challenged us to a battle before, like Flint and Aaron did, so I wonder what else he'll have. Claydol is an interesting Pokemon, though, and I like it quite a bit.
And the Claydol has kicked things off with the Psychic Surge move, which I think boosts overall powers of the type. You could send out Metagross, though, since it would also get a boost here. Plus, it would resist a lot of Lucian's moves.
That's exactly what I would have done too, Bush, so good thinking. The goal of Tyranitar is always to set up the Stealth Rock anyway, and then go from there. Plus, we don't have Dark Pulse on it, so it can be our last resort Pokemon.
Oh boy, Earth Power is going to cause some issues, though. That move is super effective against Steel types, but with Light Screen, all his moves are going to be halved in power, or whatever the percentage is. Some nerd in the comment section can let me know.
Yeah, so Donald, you're a nerd too with the amount of knowledge you have on Pokemon. And that's not even a bad thing. I was bullied when I was younger for liking Pokemon, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm supposed to be the tough guy here, though, Jizzy Joe, so if it gets out that I spend my free time beating Elite Four members to a pulp, well, that would be very bad news. And my street cred would drop to a very low level. Saying that, though, if everyone finds out I beat Cynthia on my first try, I bet it'll go up higher than anyone's ever.
Cynthia is our queen and Lord Almighty, other than Arceus, of course. Basically, she's hot and we love her. I also like Phoebe and Caitlin too, from Hoenn and Unova respectively. The blondes make me feel all warm and gooey inside.
I'm not even going to ask what you meant by that statement. And by the way, Bush, Phoebe has black hair, I'm pretty sure. She does use ghost types though, which automatically gives her points from me too. She's forgotten a lot, however, I think.
Okay, you guys saw how much damage we take if we didn't have the light screen on the field, right? Metagross would have died 3 times in this battle already. It's such a goated move, and you guys all need it for your next playthroughs. Especially you, Obama. It'll save you a lot of abuse from us later on.
I'm not taking advice from you, Donald. You abuse me and make me feel bad about my Pokemon skills. I'd love the viewers to give me some moral support, but even from them, all I get is abuse, and they're just very mean to me.
To be fair to them, you kind of deserve it. Lucian also has a Lunatone on the field, boys, which reminds me of the one Tate and Liza had. Although they also had a Solrock too, which we might also see.
I remember when Pokemon Sun and Moon were announced and everyone thought it had something to do with Solrock and Lunatone. And people even thought they'd get Mega Evolutions, which never happened. I bet they'd be used more if they got them.
Oh man, we're in for a rough ride now with this Mr. Mime on the field. These little pink things are just demons in disguise. The only bet we have is getting Toxic to hit and then using Hurricane with Salamence, since flying is super effective against fighting.
The light screen just wore off too, and the Mime has Focus Blast, which is a really strong fighting type move, especially against a steel type like Metagross. Lucian never used this thing in the older games, and they only put him in here because they ran out of psychic type options.
Yeah, good luck trying to outspeed Mr. Mime. This isn't going to work at all, and that's also going to be the end of the light screen strategy too, Donald. How do you plan on recovering now?
I think if you actually attacked, then the Focus Blast would have missed. Or that might the other fighting type move, which works like that, but either way, that's goodbye to Metagross for now. Sending out Venusaur was also a really stupid move.
Well, it might be a mistake, but Sludge Bomb is super effective against this clown. It's really a matter of who has the strongest attacking stats, and lucky for Donald, his overpowered grass turtle wins that battle.
It does help that Mr. Mime has terrible defenses. They should have added Mr. Rhyme in here, though, for more diversity. We used one back in our Pokemon Sword and Shield playthrough, which you can all find on our channel, and it was a really strong Pokemon.
At this point, you could probably Sludge Bomb your way to victory, Donnie. Venusaur is so strong, and the last few Pokemon definitely aren't of his. We still have that Galad to battle, though, which might be a nightmare.
Someone should probably tell Lucian that using a Starmie doesn't exactly make him a psychic-type trainer. He's basically a man version of Misty, since that was her ace Pokemon back in the day. Like, for what reason would he have this Pokemon?
To freeze me, apparently, Obama, but it won't work. Venusaur loves me so much that it thawed itself out in one go, and now Starmie will face the full force of an energy ball from my grass-type tank. That has got to hurt to be Starmie right now. And we're on to his final Pokemon as well, guys.
This one will hit us hard, so get ready for that, Donald. I think using the full restore was also a waste too, because you could have sacrificed Venusaur to get a free switch in instead of healing, which probably won't help us.
You're probably right. I just want to land a Toxic on this one, and then I can have Infernape or Salamence come in and clean everything up. Or make a mess, since there will be bits of Galad all over his purple walls. I will destroy this guy completely.
Make sure you all remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons, especially for Venusaur here, who's now toughed it out for Donald twice. First by thawing out of Starmie's Ice Beam, and now surviving against Galade.
I wonder how much stronger Infernape would have been if you chucked a Life Orb on him, Donald. Pairing that with Flare Blitz would make you unstoppable, especially with all the full restores you have too.
Infernape wouldn't last very long in a battle, though, if it had a Life Orb and Flare Blitz, since both those things take away a lot of my own health. The Life Orb especially would mean I'd have to heal basically after every turn, which isn't worth it.
With that though, Donald has beaten all 4 elite members of the Pokemon League and the Sinnoh Region, which means all that remains is the Queen Bee herself. Make sure you all stay tuned for the final episode of this series, where we will be battling against our Lord Cynthia.
She will get obliterated by my team, just you guys watch. Have a good one for now, though, and take care.